All right, so we're gonna make a nice quesadilla. Here's your ingredients. You got cheddar cheese in this case. This is a nice, expensive, sharp cheddar cheese. But the quality of the ingredients makes a huge difference. Flour tortillas, olive oil, any kind of oil. You could even just use melted butter, and some pepper if you like pepper. You can use corn tortillas. That's not the way most people do it, but you know, some people like it. And if that's all you have, what the heck. Then, for your tools, you need a pan that's gonna be big enough to fit the tortilla in, cheese grater, a little brush for the oil, a lid to help the cheese melt. Then, just as an extra, if you wanna make it extra, extra good, you get some cotija cheese, and you can put that on the outside of the quesadilla, and this stuff is just kind of like forked up into little pieces. All right, so you want to grate the cheese. It's going to melt the best that way, but if you're lazy, you can also just slice it. Don't make it too thick, because if it takes a really long time to melt, then the quesadilla is going to burn. If you have grated cheese in the fridge that you keep there to use for omelets or quesadillas or whatever, it's always nice just grate a whole bunch at once, and then it's really convenient. In this case, I have some cheddar in here. This is mozzarella. Lots of different kinds of cheeses are good, and a mix of cheese is especially good. All right, so I'm gonna preheat the pan, and I'm gonna put it on, this is gas, and put it on about medium. Just depends. Doesn't have to be a non-stick pan, because you're gonna use some oil or butter, but convenient. Remember, it needs to be big enough to fit a tortilla in. You'll fold them in half, but if it's too small, believe me, you don't want to find out after you already started. So to start out, depending on how many you're going to make, but if it's just for you or one other person, pour a little bit of oil in the pan. And then you're going to take a brush, and you're going to get it on the tortilla. Brush the tortilla. Or alternatively, you can just brush it around in the pan and just go like that. The pan's not hot yet. So I'm gonna make 2 quesadillas for you. And 1 for me. So I'm gonna go like that and get the oil on the outside. When I set this one down until I'm ready to work with it, I'm gonna just set it face down, oil to oil on this one. Just a good way to keep it without getting messy. I'm gonna move on to the next one. Just get lots of oil on it. So I'm gonna start with this one. I've got some cheddar cheese already grated, very convenient. And we're going to be folding this over, so you don't want to get it all the way to the edge. But the cheese, it looks like a lot. It's actually not that much. It's going to melt down. So I'm going to add a little bit of the mozzarella. Mozzarella is a great melting cheese. It's what they use on pizza. And then I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. You can hear it starting to cook. Then I'll flip this over and get it over to the edge. Now I'm going to get the next one, which has already got oil on it. Do the same thing. I don't have quite so much left there, so I'm going to use more of the mozzarella. Might as well just use it all up. Got a little pepper. Oh, those are some big pieces, huh? And I'm going to close it up. It's starting to get hot. All right, now I want to cover it because I want to trap the heat and help the cheese to melt. All right, it's been about 2 minutes. Let's check and see. And a spatula. I'm just going to lift it up and look, and yeah, it's starting to brown. Now it depends on how crispy you like it. They're really tasty when they get crispy. It's a really nice finish, so I like to let them cook a little longer. The other thing you have to look at is how much the cheese is melting. You don't want to have a quesadilla with cheese that's not melted. So if it's getting really brown, like super brown, and this isn't at all melted, turn your temperature down, which is I'm going to do a little bit here. So I'm going to cover it and let it go another minute or so, maybe 2 minutes. We'll take a peek. All right, so it's been another minute or half or so. Let's take a peek. Ooh, see, I think that's perfect. So I'm going to just flip it You notice they've changed shape. If you have a smaller pan, then flip it so that it goes back in the same way so it fits. This one, I'll just move it over and flip that one. If the cheese isn't very melted, it'll all come out at that point and it's annoying. And then we're gonna cover it and cook it for another couple minutes. And then as a little extra, what I'm gonna do here is just if you happen to have, if you keep some cotija cheese around, this is amazing, but I'm gonna put this in the pan, spread it out a little, and just let it get all over the bottom of that. And I'm gonna cover them. And we'll wait and see. All right, it's been another minute and a half or so. Let's take a peek. Beautiful and crispy. Let's look inside and see how melted the cheese is. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna pull that one out. Let's see how this one's doing with the cotija on the outside. Oh my gosh, that looks amazing. All right, we'll take that out. And then you really have to let them sit, just like pizza that's come right out of the oven. Let them sit for a few minutes, like about 5 minutes before you cut them, or all the cheese just comes right out. And let's look again at how pretty that is with the cotija on the outside. This is just a lovely crust and it has a great flavor, just an extra. So you can do all this if you don't have oil or you're super lazy. You can do it with a little bit of butter instead of oil. You can use any cheese. There's lots of different kinds of cheddar too. This one is, like I said, it's a $10 brick of cheese, and this is sharp cheddar. Mild cheddar has almost no flavor. So if you don't have expensive cheese or good cheese around, just use whatever you have. Use some pepper. People like to use hot sauce. There's all kinds of stuff you can do to it, but you can't go wrong.